Hi everyone, this is Nina from Rafaela Soul Sessions. How are we all doing? And Happy New Year. I hope everybody had a really peaceful, calm, healthy, warm, snuggly, beautiful Christmas and New Year. I know it can be a really challenging time for a lot of people, and I know that especially the end of last year got really, really rough for quite a lot of people out there. It was certainly, I would say December was certainly intense and overwhelming, I think, for a lot of people. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Nina. I am a quantum healing hypnosis practitioner from Scotland, and I basically share my journey as a quantum healer in this incredible time of awakening um, on this planet. And yeah, I share my journey. I share messages from my clients' higher selves. I share some of the information from some of the sessions. Um, I share some of my own downloads and insights that I get from my higher self and my team and my own sessions. Um, and yeah, I'm just here to help lift people up through this uh, and wild time that we're living in, and help people not feel so alone through it all. So that's my intention for all of this. I come on and share my journey and my session stories, and yeah, I connect with all of my beautiful followers, and I'm so grateful for you all. So back to December. December was quite, yeah, intense and overwhelming, I think were the right words. There's a lot of people who are not well right now. Thankfully, we have been good health-wise. Um, I started us on some homeopathic medicine a little while ago, just for general everyday ailments and coughs and colds and things. I got this lovely little homeopathic kit just to help us through this time. And I have to say, it has been really wonderful. And I say that like I'm surprised. I'm not surprised. But it's been really helpful, and it's just been a great aid to support our health and our immunity through this time. But yeah, December was intense for us here, myself and my daughter. The second half of last year, I would say, was really intense because for for me personally, I was trying to adjust to my daughter's her first year at school, um, and help her adjust to the school environment. If anybody's followed me for a while, you'll know my journey with Marnie. I had a very difficult pregnancy, um, very difficult birth. My daughter suffered um, extensive head injuries, and was in and out of hospital quite a lot when she was a baby, with some other residual things that happened following her birth. Um, she had two life-threatening conditions, and she had to have emergency brain surgery at 10 months old. So she's now turned 6 and she's going to school, and we are now seeing the effects of what happened then. Showing up now in the way she is. She has quite a lot of developmental problems, and we're trying to get her the help that she needs to support her through her first years at school, which is proving very difficult. However, I have sought out, through our wonderful holistic dentist, I have found a child therapist nearby who deals with kids like Marnie. She's a specialist, and she helps with kids like Marnie who have these issues, to help her integrate some of the problems that she has and heal, basically. So, but on the other side of things, it's just been a real struggle taking her through the mainstream school system. with a mother like me, there's going to be a bit of a clash there. And the child like Marnie, who is, she's different. She's different from the other kids. Um, she's a nonconformist, much like myself, and doesn't like to be told what to do. But yeah, we're just trying to navigate through that time, and I'm just trying to support her as much as possible. So the second half of last year, I could not engage with my audience as much, and I had to weigh up what support I could give my clients, having to put so much of my energy and effort into my daughter. So I had to take a little bit of a step back. I still have been facilitating sessions throughout all of this, but just less than the months before the end of the summer. I would say from March to June, I was flat out with sessions, and then from sort of August onwards, it had to quieten down a bit because, well, practically I just did not have as much time. Marnie's only doing half days at school, so I just didn't have as much time to put myself out there. As it stands today, I do. She's gone back to school today after the Christmas holiday. I do have a little bit of time, which is why I'm doing this. I just made a half an hour video and listened back to it and realized I still had my headset plugged in from yesterday, so the sound was awful. So here I am again, making another video for you guys. But I just want to connect and share my energy and share my insights into what has unfolded over the last little while. So yeah, on a more personal side of it, that's kind of what we've been facing. And now I'm just trying to focus more on getting into the work. I feel like there is light within all of this. There is something beautiful going to come out of all of this. We've found a wonderful therapist for Marnie who can, and we've started the rhythmic movement therapy that we're going to be doing for her. So I feel like there is light to the end of all that, and there will be positive things that come from all of that. That's my intention, and that is my hope in my heart for all of that. Now my focus is getting back to my work and being there to support my clients as much as I can. And yeah, I have been doing some really beautiful sessions lately, and I just wanted to talk about some of the things that happened in those sessions, and just do some sharing. So I facilitated a session yesterday, and it was a client who'd come back to me for her second session. Her first session was last year. It was amazing. It was maybe just under a year ago. Yeah, maybe just under a year ago. It was still cold when I did her last session. So it was maybe February, March time kind of thing. That was an amazing session. That was really connecting her with her team and all the love that there is for her. And she's a new soul in that she hasn't had any other lifetimes on earth. This is her first human life, and she's had quite a intense life so far. But her first session was just her connection with her team, her connection with her guides, and her connection with all that love that there is for her. And it was a gorgeous, gorgeous session. She felt so amazing afterwards. She was just drenched in so much love. And she was doing really, really well. And then circumstances in her life have shifted. And she's had a lot of stress, and she's sort of developed some unhealthy coping mechanisms, and she wanted some help with all of that to try and release whatever it is that's contributing to all of what's going on in her life. So we created a very powerful intention, which encompassed all of that, and started her journey for her second session. And it was a very, very powerful session, but it was not like her first session. And I think that kind of jolted her a little bit. Because she immediately started feeling a lot of energy in her body. She wasn't having another lifetime experience. She was just having a lot of physical sensations and energy sensations within her body, which as a practitioner I knew was absolutely fine. And it was I just had a strong sense that her team were not beating around the bush. They were going straight into the healing, which is what we'd asked for, to heal everything that was contributing to this current situation in her life. So the healing started, and she started feeling this energy in her body. First, it started through her legs. She said it was quite a powerful and intense energy, but it was very calming and soothing and loving. And she said she felt it kind of moving around her body a little bit, a lot in her throat. And we had mentioned previously that there was some issues with her throat chakra, and a lot in her head as well. And this healing went on for about an hour. And I knew, because I've facilitated hundreds of these sessions, that that this is absolutely fine. You know, this is just what happens. Sometimes the team just want to come straight in and go for the healing. They don't want to beat around the bush and dance around past lives or anything. They just want to go straight in and do the healing, which if you ask for that, that's what you get. Not necessarily knowing what way it's going to all come, but that was obviously what her team had in mind. So they came and did that. And actually, she said, following the session, she said that when she was writing her questions for her higher self, she just had this really strong feeling that the questions weren't of interest to her team. She just they weren't that important. It was the healing that was needed. They knew that this healing was needed, and she kind of had a sense for that too. But her conscious mind was throwing her off a bit, because this was so unlike her previous session. Her conscious mind was quite dominant and was coming and going, maybe this isn't working. Why is this not like the other one? What's happening? So I kind of had to talk her through it. And then I just took her on a journey to deepen her. I took her on a journey, and we just traveled. We created a bubble of light, and we traveled, and we went on a beautiful journey. And she did end up having another lifetime she went to. So as I said before, this client hasn't had any other lifetimes on Earth. So she went to a planet. It was a blue planet. And she said it was kind of like the size of Neptune, but not in this solar system, in a different solar system. It was a blue planet. Everything was blue. She said even the air was blue. Everything was blue. And it was that she was in a male body. He was sort of walking around, and he had really big hands. She said she was just like really big, with sort of stubby ends, really big hands, and he was moving all this blue rubble and rock and cleaning up, tidying up. And so we explored a little bit more, because I was curious as to, why that was happening. And they had, some of them had come here to clear the planet and prepare it for a new civilization that was to inhabit it. So this is what him and a team of his species were doing. They were all doing this together. And he had this sense of real purpose and enjoyment for what he was doing. He was just a really happy, and yeah, just this feeling of fulfillment, of purpose, of doing what he should be doing to help his people. Um, so we sort of explored through that life a little bit, and we got to the point where they had inhabited the planet. It wasn't a huge civilization; it was smaller to start with, and yeah, we explored where they lived, their homes, um, and what their lives were like, what they did. They were just a very peaceful, calm, and they got a lot of fulfillment out of helping each other. They were very helpful and kind. Um, and we explored further into that life, and he ended up being this being that she was exploring his life. He ended up being abducted by she said they were very tall grey beings who had sort of lab coats on. And he said in a he was on a ship. He was lying down staring at the ceiling, and he had been pinned down, and they were experimenting on him. And all he knew was that they were trying to find out. I'm going to have a sip of coffee because my mouth's gone dry. They were trying to find out what his species were about. They'd obviously come to this planet, and they'd seen that the civilization was there, and they wanted to know what was going on. So they abducted him, and he said that there was no care for him whatsoever when he was there. There was no communication. There was no care for his well-being, and he became very distressed, and he ended up leaving that life. He just chose to end that life because he was so distraught, because he was not able to connect with these beings. He didn't know what was happening, and he was just really confused. And he carried that imprint beyond that life. And my client had still had this imprint within her, which was contributing to the experiences she was having in her current life. So we cleared that imprint. We healed that lifetime. We healed that being. We just cleared all of that residual energy. And then we were able to get onto her higher self questions. And like I said, that I think by that time there had been so much energetic work that had happened of shifting her frequency. That's what they said they were doing. They were changing her frequency. She had been in quite a low vibration for a good amount of time, and that frequency needed to change. So that's what they were doing. They were changing her frequency, and they were expanding her energy. So by the time we got to the higher self information, there wasn't much the higher self had to say. We had cleared mostly everything that was involved in her questions. We connected with some beings that she asked to connect to, but we got through the questions fairly quickly and brought her back. And she was a little stunned. I think not stunned, but it was just not what she had expected. And I think that's something I talk about often, is that expectations can happen anytime. We can have expectations even after we've had a session. we always talk to our clients about expectations, and just coming to the session as open as possible and not to have any expectations. There's a lot of quantum healing hypnosis sessions online. There's a lot on YouTube. There's a lot. And so when people watch these sessions, they get an idea of what they think these sessions will go like. So if they then themselves have a session and it doesn't go like that, they can be disappointed. They can think there's something wrong. They think they're doing it wrong. They put pressure on themselves. And that can be misleading, because these sessions that you see online are only parts of sessions. They're not often full sessions. Sometimes they are, but they don't all go the same way at all. Um, as I said, this was her second session though, and her first session being so just just so filled with love and just such a just opened her up so much to this um, network of connection that she has, um, to then this really very, very deep, sometimes heavy work, healing work, energetic work that needed to take place in this next session. But I think she understood why that had to happen at that point. And yeah, I'm excited to see how she gets on, how she is over the next few days. I've told her to take it very, very easy. There was a lot of work that took place, and this is essentially energetic surgery, so she needs to treat herself very gently over the next few days. And yeah, I'll look forward to hearing how she gets on over the next little while and how that all integrates for her. So I wanted to talk a little bit about another session I had for a client. That session was really interesting. The healing really can happen at any time before, during, or after a session. And that was very much the case with this next session that I had. She she had most of her healing 2 days before the session actually happened. Well, not most, a good chunk of the healing uh, just happened through our pre-talk. Now, a lot of the time, and it's something I've been noticing a lot more recently, I often receive a lot of information when I'm having these pre-talks with people, and I'm very conscious not to just be constantly channeling information and giving stuff to people, because that's not what I'm here for. I'm here to facilitate these sessions and help people to connect to their own intuition, their own higher self, hear that information through their own voice, because I know how powerful that is and I know how helpful that is. So I try very consciously not to just channel information and give them the answers. And I often do receive energetically and auditory. I hear messages and things. I hear the information and feel the information come through and just receive downloads. I try and keep that to myself. This was different. The information came in so powerfully, so strongly. There was no way that you could not tell that I was receiving information. And I just had to share it with her, and there was no hesitation, which is why I knew that this was my team saying, no, this needs to happen now. So I did. I shared what I was downloading, and she just said there was just such a huge release. And actually I felt it too within my own being. I felt this huge release happen just through that pre-talk. And then we were able to go into the session almost with this clean slate and explore the rest of the things that she wanted to know about and get the clarity and healing on the other areas that she'd come to me for. At the end of that session, though, there was a message about 2023, and that's what I wanted to talk a little bit about. It was talking about, I was asking what was going to be in store for 2023. And they were very upfront and honest about it. It wasn't sugar coated. It was basically, and I typed up this message and shared it on my Facebook, on all my channels. I shared it everywhere. I think I even shared it on Facebook. Sorry, YouTube. So yeah, it has been shared everywhere. That this pressure that we're all feeling, this pressure from all angles, this all of this sort of collective energy that's coming up, and the pressure that we're feeling, and all of the events that are taking place, all of it is going to continue this year. It's going to ramp up. We're going to see more of it. We're going to feel and sense more of it. We're going to have more upheaval and turbulence within our lives as well. But this is what needs to happen. And all of this work that we're doing is going to increase we're going to feel more of this energy coming through. It's going to be more persistent. But by the end of this year, they said, we will begin to see the results of the hard work we've put in. We will begin to see just how far humanity has really come in the last few years. Because I think for a lot of people, they've felt that there has been no forward motion. And they mentioned that in the session. They said a lot of people feel like, why hasn't anything happened yet? If it was going to happen, something would have happened by now. Or, why is this taking so long type thing? And those types of messages have come through before, and they've always said, this is not an overnight thing. This is, this is go time, this is game time, and this is not overnight. We're talking about a huge, huge evolution within humanity, and an ascension of not only humanity but the earth as well. This doesn't happen overnight. This has been going on for a long, long time, and this is a huge shift that's taking place. And we are feeling this bombardment of energy because we need to be. This is what needs to happen. And they were very sort of firm about that. It was like, this is what needs to happen. This is going the right direction, because this is what you're feeling. This is right. This is it. They also said that what unfolds in the following year is very much connected to how we perceive what's happening. So getting back to what I was saying about why is it not happened yet? Why is there nothing happening yet? If you're in that frequency, if you're in that vibrational frequency of questioning everything and being negative about the situation, and not just in this sort of calm, accepting space of allowing and knowing that this is what needs to happen, then you are going to create more chaos for yourselves, and you are also going, on a bigger scale, that's going to have ripple effects in the whole world. So basically, how we view and what we choose to focus on is what we are going to create within the collective, within humanity, within the world. So it's what we are that powerful. And if we choose to focus on the negative, we are going to see more of the negative. If we choose to focus on the fact that this is all necessary for us to get to where we need to be, then that's what we're going to create. So it was a very strong message, very powerful message. And I wanted to share a little bit about that with you. You can go and read the actual message on my social media pages. It'll be there. So that's a little bit about a couple of the sessions I've done lately. If anybody out there feels they want to have a session with me, or they would want to just have a consultation with me, I do 15 minutes for free, or I do an hour with a card reading for, I think it's £44. And we can connect and see if this work is going to be right for you, if you want to work with me. So you can go to my website and reach out to me there, and we will get the ball rolling for you there. And I just so look forward to all of the sessions to come within this next year. We are all doing such amazing work. I am really in awe of all the clients that come to me, and so grateful that they trust me with their lifetime, with this life, with this work. It means a lot. So thank you. So if you want to work with me this month, I'm doing a little discount for 2023. I've taken a little bit of money off the deposit amount, and I think I've taken like £23 off. So it's £199 for a session deposit at the moment. So if you want to book a session in January, you can snap up that little discount. But just reach out to me and we can have a chat and see when you want to schedule yourself in for your session. What else do I want to share? I have a little being on my lap. I'll bring him up so you can see him. This is Anubis. This is my new kitten. I have been wanting to bring a new animal into my life for quite a while, and I've been calling him in. Definitely have been calling him in, and it's taken a couple of years, and finally he showed up. And yeah, he's a beautiful little being. It's so nice to have kitten energy in the house. They're such wonderful creatures, and it's so nice for everyone in the house, actually. Even like my other cat is, I'm noticing him starting to play again, but play in that sort of kitten-like way, which is lovely. My dog's connected with him really nicely. Marnie has connected with him really beautifully, and it's just such a wonderful experience to bring up an animal. So yeah, he's a really lovely thing that's come into our world, and he's going to be my little quantum assistant as well. His name Anubis. Anubis is the Egyptian god of the afterlife, and I think it's a very powerful name. And with what I do, I think it's quite appropriate. So yeah, I'm just really madly in love with him. I think he's wonderful, and I'm very, very grateful that I've been able to bring another animal into my world, because they are just such wonderful healers, especially pussycats. They are just so wonderful. So yeah, he's just been such a tonic for our lives. He has brought, I would say there's about 90% more joy in the house with him around. So, and his name, actually, it's quite interesting the way his name came about, because I lost this pendant back in September, I think. I lost it. I thought I had lost it outside. I thought it was completely gone. And I mean, I don't get attached to material things that often, but this ankh had been with me for quite a while. And it's just such a beautiful and powerful symbol. And I was just really gutted that I'd been so silly and lost it. I'd kind of gotten over it though, but when I was trying to figure out his name, I'd written a list of names on a piece of paper, and I was just reading them out aloud in the house just to hear how they sounded in the house. And I said the word Anubis. And I came into this room, and right in front of me was this pendant. It was just right on the floor in front of me, just as I'd said the name Anubis. And that was like, okay, that's his name. Um, so yeah, I think that's everything I wanted to share today. Again, if anybody wants to reach out and book a session with me, just go to my website, which is rafaelasoulsessions.com. And I look forward to sharing more session stories and more information, more insights, downloads, channelings, whatever else I feel important to support you guys and help us all get through this really incredible and amazing time to be on Earth. So sending you loads and loads of love, and I will be back soon. And you take care and have a beautiful week. Bye.